What's going on, guys? It's Groove, back with another book review, and today we have How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, everybody needs to read this book, listen to the audiobook, whatever. You need to get this information in your head. Most people have trouble when it comes to business, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to making friends, and they just can't understand why, they're struggling when it comes to people and dealing with other human beings. This book will literally tell you and show you how to pretty much get anything you want from anybody. This is everything. Like, life is relationships. Life is language and talking and understanding people and understanding how to get what you want from people and also give what you can to other people as well. Like, it's a symbiotic relationship. Everything in this world is relationships. When I was reading this book, I often thought about back in high school. Some high schools had the debate team or the debate club, and those kids used to get laughed at, like, you're on the debate team? Like, what are you, a nerd? As I was thinking about it, those kids were literally getting prepared for life, getting prepared to be leaders, to be politicians, to be business CEOs. You have to understand debate. You have to understand language. You have to understand how to win people over to your side and it's not necessarily arguing, but just getting your thoughts over to the other people to convince them that you're right. That is such a key aspect of life. And it's just so funny how those kids used to get made fun of. But then, the average person who doesn't understand how to debate, who doesn't understand how to communicate effectively, those are the people who really struggle in life. What this book goes over is, how to be an effective communicator and how to, get people over onto your side and pretty much get whatever you want, as far as business deals and how to have proper relationships, whether it become friends or romantic relationships. It's just everything. This book goes over everything and how important it is. The first big thing that he goes over is don't criticize. Understanding that humans are not logical creatures. We are emotional creatures. Well, some of us, some people have like zero emotions, but for the majority part, humans are emotional creatures. And so you can't criticize. When somebody's doing something wrong or if somebody messes up, you cannot criticize them, because when you criticize, when you're yelling at them, it's like their entire body shuts down. They just clam up, they lock down, and they don't even hear what you're saying. And so it's not good to criticize somebody. Instead of criticizing somebody and telling them that they were wrong, tell them like, hey, I see where you were coming from. I see how you tried to attack this problem or approach this thing, but let's try looking at it from this perspective. Like, let's look at it from this angle instead of just flat out telling them they were wrong. This way you still leave the person, you show them where they messed up at and the proper way to approach the problem, while you can still maintain their dignity and the respect of that person that they have for you. Because as soon as you just tell somebody that they were flat out wrong, like, they don't like you anymore. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They feel bad towards you. The only way to really influence somebody is you have to see things from their perspective, which is really hard today. For some reason, everybody they have a vision of how things should go, and then they try to force everybody else to see things their way. And when you have to force somebody to do something, you can't influence them. You have to kind of take yourself out of your body and look at the situation from their perspective. That is when you get more of those win-win relationships, because when you can see the problem through their eyes, you can sit there and say, okay, well, I know what works for me, I know what works for them, and we can come to an understanding together, and then that way the both of you guys win. Another way to win people over, becoming genuinely interested in people. Get to know them. Like, what do they like to do on the weekend? If you really get to know these people and get to know what somebody's interested in on their time off, they will light up and be like, oh, you're interested in me? Oh, well, as a matter of fact, this is what I did. As soon as somebody realizes that you're interested in something that, they like, they will light up. They will want to be your friend more. They will want to be around you more. They will like you more. One of the super simple things you can do right off the bat to change your life is just smile. Just everywhere you go, just smile. It's a welcoming feeling. It says that I like you, that I'm glad to see you, that I'm happy that you are around. Just a simple smile. Like, so many people today, they just have bad attitudes, or they're mean, or they're grumpy, or they're just, they don't smile, and either they had like a bad day the night before or whatever, or, some problems going on in their life, but that just keeps people away from you. It makes people not even want to be around you. So just smiling makes you more inviting. It makes you more approachable. It makes people say like, oh, this person is happy to see me. They want me around, when you're constantly smiling. So a smile, putting a smile on your face will literally change your life when it comes to, getting friends or, just being around new people. So again, when it comes to winning friends and influencing people, conversation is one of the main key factors. And a lot of people have problems when it comes to conversation and talking to people. And he goes over like the easiest way to talk to people, and you can talk to people for literal hours, is if you just ask them questions. Because people, for some reason, love talking about themselves. So if you just go into the conversation, just asking questions. Hey, how are you doing? How was your day? What did you do yesterday? Where did you grow up? What school did you go to? And people will literally carry on that conversation for hours because they will just sit there and they enjoy talking about themselves, and you never even have to talk about yourself. And you could just sit there and just ask questions, and people will warm up to you. They will open up to you. They have no problem talking about themselves, and they will actually think that you're a good person, because majority of people today just want to talk about themselves and they're not good listeners. Another key factor from this book that I took away is never argue. Like, so many people today are very argumentative and everybody's just trying to get their point across, but then the other person is also trying to fight and get their point across. And he talks about how arguing is a lose-lose situation. Either you're going to lose the argument and now you're mad at the other person, or you win the argument and the other person's mad at you. And so, like, did you really win? Like, you were trying to win this person over or try to argue your point, and now you've won the argument, but that now they don't even want to hear you, and now they don't even want to be around you anymore. And so he talks about how at all costs, never argue. Like, that should just be a no. Never argue, never try to argue your point, because even if you prove the other person wrong, now they don't even like you anymore, and now they don't want to be around you. Another hard thing for people to do is admitting when they're wrong. Like, he says this is so key, is just being able to admit when you're wrong. Like, so many people today, they will be wrong and they will still blame somebody else. Oh, well, I know I messed up, but it's only because they told me to do it, or they showed me how to do it this way. It's not my fault because, this is just the situation that I was born into, or this is all I was taught, or it's always somebody else's fault. You should admit when you're wrong. Like, admitting when you're wrong is it's a superpower. It shows humility to other people. It's like, wow, this person is like really being honest right now. Like, they messed up and they're taking, the responsibility on themselves. It shows that you're a trustworthy person. So I think one of the last big things that this book goes over, it talks about being sympathetic to people. Like, nobody is sympathetic to other people and their problems today. And today, the big thing is nobody cares. Oh, like, you need to fix your life because nobody cares about your problems and nobody's coming to save you. And he talks about just being sympathetic to people, like asking them about their problems and just talking to people. It's such a big thing today. Everybody's just like, nobody cares about your problems. And he's like, if you want to win friends over, care about their problems. Be sympathetic to their life and what they're going through today. If you haven't read this book, this is an immediate, like, go out and buy it and read it or audiobook it. Like, you have to get this information down. Life is all about relationships. And if you don't know how to converse with people, if you don't know how to influence people, if you don't know how to, make meaningful connections and understand how to do that, like, you're going to struggle all throughout life. So that's it for this one. Again, must read, must read, must read. Leave a like and subscribe for the algorithm if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in that next one. Peace.